Hey guys, welcome into Appalachia's Homestead. Do you ever have a day where you wake up and you're restless? You wake up and you can't focus. You wake up and you know it's your day to speak. Today's my day. So for the past couple of weeks, I've had an incredible surge on my channel, in my message boxes, on my Instagram, private messages, emails, and everything in between. Folks really desperate for information, education, and truth. You don't know where to look for truth anymore. Isn't that the truth? There's one thing that we can absolutely be certain of. We don't know where to look for truth anymore. So today I'm going to speak on this situation and let you know how I feel about this. And it's kind of like we're all or nothing now, folks. And I'm going to let you know how I feel about it. I had come out on my Facebook page. It's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And I had very openly said that I'm not going to be pushed. I'm not going to be used. My forum is not going to be used for political purposes in terms of me being used as a pawn. The big point of this is I don't know why all this is happening. Maybe it's just, every 100, 200, 300 years you have to have this situation or 2 or 12 happen at one time to shake things up. Maybe it's God's plan. I don't know. But here is my advice to you and how you need to handle yourself and to pull yourself back together, to pull your family in together, the things that you need to be doing together to help yourself, your family, so that we can all help each other in a community setting together. Because I'm telling you, if there is one truth in all of this, those that are self-reliant, those that can still think for themselves, are the ones that save the day. You hear that? First and foremost, you need to understand where you are spiritually. In the words of somebody that I loved very dearly, that would be my papa and even my father-in-law, the first thing that they would say is you need to get in church. Now, I'm not one to press people into believing certain things or not. But I'm going to tell you right now, you better get close to the Lord and you better know what you believe and who you believe in, because I really fear that so many of us right now are being tested in many ways that we've never been tested before. And we can go back and forth on examples of this, of things that have happened just in the past 3 to 6 months. Folks, I fear that it could get worse in the next 3 to 6 months. What if it's only the beginning? And regardless, if you look through history, regardless of whoever the historical figure is, for those that made it through the worst of situations, the worst of times, and there's many examples of this, their pillar was God. So I urge you to get right with God. Have you seen that before? Those signs that are all over East Tennessee, they're in museums. There's a great history behind that, and there's a lot of truth in that. Because we can't do this by ourselves. I can't. You might think you can. At some point, I think you're going to find out that you're not. So I urge you to get with your family and to understand where you stand and who you are with God. Because if there's nothing else left, the victory is there. The next thing that I'm going to tell you is you better preserve history in every which way you know how. I don't mean on your iPhone. I'm real bad at that too. I don't mean in your computer. I mean hard copies. I mean books. Make it a family focus every day, every week, to sit down and write down your family history any which way you can. The reason is because your children need to know who they are. I hear people say, I know who I am. I know where I came from. I knew my Nana. That's not what I mean. Because when you connect with your ancestors, when you connect with their trials and tribulations and their story, it all makes sense as to why you're here today. And I know you find it hard to believe, but that person that you don't know, that's 3 or 4 or 5 generations away from you, that all you can do is go and see their grave and see their death certificate, that's going to be you one day. So build on something for those down the road from you. Make sure that you are preserving every ounce of world history and American history today. Have copies of the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights today. Have those for future generations, for everyone, because they're going to need it. This is a big topic. We could branch this out 1,000 ways, but I'm going to make it short and sweet. You need to be working on every self-reliant skill that you have. I don't care if you go out and plant 6 tomato plants and they die. The point is that you did it. The point is that you spent the time planting something. Your children see it. They understand what it takes to try to take care of it. They understand success and failure by and through your self-reliance. I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if you burn the biscuits. What matters is that you made the biscuits, that you know how to make the biscuits. And the next time you do it, you learned off of the experience of the previous time that you did, whether it was a success or a failure. And regardless of how good or bad you are at something, you're going to have those successes and you're going to have those failures. That's life. There's no trophy. You get to eat. And those that are younger than you are relying on you to teach them. Your daughter right now that doesn't know how to make cornbread is not going to learn it from someone else. Those days are gone. That is your responsibility, Mom. Dad, you need to take your son fishing and teach him how to skin a fish. You need to be doing these things. Years ago, we had multiple generations in the family that did all of these things, that did the hunting and fishing and baking biscuits every day. Do you have that right now? And as opposed to 7 women doing these things, maybe you only have 1. How long is she going to be around to teach your children and your grandchildren? That's not her responsibility anymore. It is yours. Embrace that. Honor that. Take that on. So whatever, quote, self-reliance, end quote, means to you, take it on as a personal responsibility. And if you're looking for sources to teach you, learn from people that are legitimately doing it. I'm not a hunter. I wish I was. I begged and begged to go hunting with the men in my family as a young girl. Fact. They were afraid that I would get hurt. They were afraid that I would interrupt them. So guess what? I saw the aftermath and got to see the things after the big hunting was done. That did me no good. That did me no good whatsoever. It's not too late to start and to learn, and I have. But the point is those children are relying on you now in the prime of your life, in all of your skill sets to be passed on to them. Make it top priority, whatever that is. Sewing, hunting. One day when you're gone, you're going to have a granddaughter sitting and wondering why you never taught her. It's an honor to do so. Take it on and pass the skills. Tighten your circle. You heard me. Tighten your circle. What if something bad happened and you have to rely on other people? You need to know who those people are. You need to know their character. I'm not saying, that was a loud, did you hear that thunder on that one? I know. Love everybody. Be good to everybody. but understand who your real friends and family are. If they're not going to be there for you when you're sick today, if they're not going to offer to come help you move boxes when you're moving today, if they're not going to come and, be there for you in the good and bad times today, what happens when the world crumbles around everyone? Are you going to be able to trust those people? So think that through. I've had a lot of people, just like you, just like everyone else, over the years of being an adult, family and friends, they come and go. They disappoint, or you just figure out they're just not as solid as you thought they were. Accept it and move on. Spend your time and spend your heart on those that are truly there for you. And yes, it is true. Expect it now. They are fewer than the fingers on your left hand. Be registered to vote. I don't care if you didn't vote last time or the time before. Now is the time for you to make sure that you are registered to vote and show up. Make it a point. We are in a battle today between good and evil. We are in a battle today for the future and freedom of your children, grandchildren, who you know and who you don't know yet. This responsibility falls on you. Don't quibble. Don't shake. Don't fight. Go vote. And the last thing that I want to say is be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you come from, good, bad, or indifferent. You can't change it. Those people before you lived in a time and may or may have not done things that we will never understand. We're not there. But I assure you that if you could sit down with people that lived 100, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago, they would have an explanation and they would make you understand the times in which they lived. And it's important for you to speak today and for you to understand that everybody has these stories. We have this history. We have to come together. We're no different from each other, folks. The people before us made it through regardless so that we could live in peace today. We have that choice and we have that opportunity. We have to seize it. I can speak today about how proud I am of having Native heritage, because I had a grandmother who would literally whiten her face out with white powder to make it through. She was embarrassed of having dark skin. Talked about this before. And I build my pillar off of that. She wanted to peacefully make it through. And regardless of how we feel about that today, the fact still remains that that's history. That's history in my family. And I have a choice today to live peacefully, to live right with the Lord, and to love you so that we can all live together and be one together. So come back to yourself and rely on these things I've told you, because they are the fundamentals to get you through. And if everybody did that, if everyone's family did that, we're going to ride out the storm. The corn is going to stand again, and everything will be okay. This is where I stand. I love you guys. I love you. God loves you too, and we appreciate you being here on our channel always. We've got this. You've got this. Be the pillar. We'll see you on the next video.